Hi. Finally, I have arrived to the part which is going to be my favorite one in the entire series of note making, because this has really made me learn certain things, and I was too enthusiastic to go ahead and share it with the others also. Now, I'm going to label this particular part as different kinds of note making, and you would see that going forward in few of the parts of this particular series, I'm just going to focus on exclusively on the note making and what are the different kinds of it. So here we go, and we will see that the common note taking methods are the Cornell method, the outlining method, the mapping method, the charting method, the sentence method, the boxing method. Then there are two more methods which are, three more in fact I would say, which I have not included here. However, going forward I would be going ahead and adding them further in the form of the different parts of it. However, in total there are around 9 to 10 methods are there. Aren't you surprised to know that yes, these are the note taking methods, and let us see how many of us are literally utilizing them while we are taking the notes. So here we go with the first one, and that is by Cornell. Cornell note system is very popular in I should say in America and other parts of UK, and now they have even introduced in Australia, Canada, as well as the other parts of the world. Now in India, I haven't seen many people utilizing this particular method while they are taking the notes. The Cornell note system, it is also called as Cornell note taking system or Cornell method or Cornell way. And I have seen people, talking while I was interacting with them via the Skype. They say that, oh yes, we follow the Cornell method. The other one said, oh yeah, we love to use the Cornell way, and we are Cornellians, So I just kept looking, what do they mean by saying Cornellians? Then they introduced me and they oriented me, telling me that yes, they would love to see to it that yes, the students are adopting this particular method in their academic writings while they are taking the notes, especially when they are in the lecture theaters. Now it is a note taking device which was devised in the 1940s. Imagine 1940s, and I haven't yet heard, and it was just 2 weeks ago, I would say, rather 1.5 weeks ago, that I came across by Walter Pock. Now Walter Pock is the person who had introduced this one, an education professor at Cornell University, and that's the reason any student who is studying there, in fact, before I can proceed further, I would like to tell you a little bit more about the note taking. For example, I have seen that there are 3 to 4 varieties of note takers also. One, the person who is a student and is learning, number one. Number two, the person, disabled person, handicapped person, if they see that yes, they have some problem in taking the notes, they hire a note taker. They pay, and it's a profession in colleges that they are taking care of them, and they utilize them, and it is a proper process, and the complete system has been made exclusively for the note takers. The third class is the I would say the category of the blind people who are not able to see, so they take the help from this one. The fourth is especially when students are not so much comfortable with the rate of speech, the way the lectures are being handed over by the particular or the respective teacher. At that time, they take the help from the note takers. And here in Cornell University, they have a proper training, a proper I would say a proper workshop has been conducted, and it is compulsory for each and every student who is enrolling there to utilize the Cornell way, and that's why they call themselves as Cornellians. Pock advocated its use in his best-selling book, How to Study in College. I downloaded it and I literally read this book continuously for 3 days, and I took it up and I really loved reading it. In fact, I would be sharing it with each one of you as to how systematically he developed it and how he really wanted to go forward with it. Now this is the page that you would see wherein the entire register, you can see, has been in a very nice manner divided into 1, 2, 3 categories categories, and here they call it the first section, which is cues of 2.5 inches, and the next one is for 6. So if we have a register and the total I would say the width of it, the length I would say, is around 8.5 inches, then they are dividing it into 2.5 and 6 inches. And similarly, the height of it also you can see, and at the bottom we have got the summary. I'll be dealing with it in detail about it in my next slide itself, and so you'll know. However, just to give you the feel, I have just shown to you that see how powerful it looks once they have this one, and this is what they call it as the Cornell note-taking method, and this is how they proceed further. And especially the notebooks are also available, in the market over there, so that they can. And in India, I've seen that some schools have adopted it for the senior secondary students, and then they are developing it. Some of the private and I would say the experimental school, not all the schools. Now here comes the Cornell notes measurements, how we are supposed to do it. 2.5 will be the margin, which they call it as the column, and the note-taking column will be for 6 inches. So can you see the professionalism out here? Now, I never did it in my life. I just have the margin wherein I keep the date, and if I want to write down something, I do it. However, that is not for 2.5 inches at all. The Cornell notes, how do they do it? Here, record during the lecture. Use the note-taking column to record the lecture using telegraphic sentences. We will see later on if I am talking about certain kinds of sentences later on, and then I'll be introducing, or maybe in the series itself I would be taking care. Questions as soon after the class as possible. Formulate questions based on the notes in the right hand column. So whatever questions next day, for example, I'm taken the notes and I have certain queries, then immediately I'll be jotting down the questions with something, with a pen or a pencil or a sketch pen, and then the next day when I enter the classroom, I need to see to it that yes, I'm asking this particular question to the teacher. Writing questions helps to clarify the meanings, reveal relationships, establish continuity, and strengthen memory also. The writing of questions sets up a perfect stage for exam studying in the later. Recite, as I said, in the 5 hours. So here you see how they are developing it. Cover the note-taking column with a sheet of paper, then looking at the questions or the cue words, the question, and cue column only say aloud in your own words, and then the entire recitation takes place and the child is able to learn very quickly. Now that's how the 5 hours have been developed and they are being incorporated. Now in fact, we were thinking, I was just sitting with some of my colleagues and we thought during the orientation, now we should, me and my colleagues have taken this initiative that we would definitely introduce these methods, the note-taking methods, to our students also, so that they are able to incorporate in their own academic, and that makes them delineate from the school, and they get the feeling that yes, we are into the college and the next studies. Fourth one is the reflect on the material by asking yourself questions, for example, and then you can carry forward the reflection part of it. It's also an exercise how well the child is reflecting about whatever work has been done over. Fifth one is the review, and here, as I have in the earlier part, I have said that review has to play quite a lot of role, and now I understood why that review work has been done and how it is being developed in a student also. Now here in the next one, you can see this is at the bottom of that register sheet, wherein you have got the summary. After the class or after going back home, you are going to summarize the entire teaching or the lecture that had been given to you in this particular, and that has been given to you as 2 inches of the space of the entire register. Now next one, you will see that this is the entire sheet which is being developed. This is how they develop the register for the students especially, and I took it did a lot of survey myself in order to understand. So 70% and 30%, and at the bottom you can see 5 to 7 of lines I'm able to write. Now this is exactly how the entire system looks like for the Cornell system. So these are the ones that they prefer, that the notes has to be written in this portion. Keywords and comments have to be written on the left side of that particular register. If you're sitting, you can see that this is on. Summary is at the bottom of the sheet, and then this is the other way around. Date has to be there. Main notes, ideally, some of the abbreviations, and I'll showcase to you this one also, how to take the notes also. Key thought, then keywords, questions, and the summary. And this is how the entire workshop, which I was witnessing via the Skype, takes over for the students also. Now here in Cornell Notes, you can see now they have given you the entire thing. Note taking area, record lecture as fully and as meaningfully as possible. This is the part that they have to take care. Q column is the one that is 2.5 inches that they have given, wherein you are going to introduce the keywords or whatever questions you need to ask for the next day. You can write down here. At the bottom of the page is the summaries, where you're going to summarize the entire lecture or whatever has been taught to you on that particular day. And these are certain 5 R's as to how we need to utilize it while we are using the Cornell sheet itself. Now the next one is this one. You can have a look. When date is mandatory, as we keep doing it. Now here is a title, and we need to specify what topic, what title, or what is the heading of that particular lecture that the teacher or the mentor or the tutor is giving for the students. That needs to be specified out here. And the keywords, then you have got the out here comments, the questions, the big ideas. All these things have to be kept here, and then these are primarily taken after the class. Fewer words, visuals, and symbols can be useful out here also, side by side. Then on the other side, you can see the main notes, the primarily taken during the class. So this entire portion, has to be utilized while we are in the classroom, and leave space when possible to add details later on if it is necessary. Then we can go in for diagrams, charts, doodles, symbols, etc., bullet points, outlines, and the abbreviations. Each and everything can be added out. Summary at the bottom, this has to be completed after the class, and that's why whatever has been added out by the teacher has been specified in the red color. And this is typically the registers which are printed out for the students and they need. So the chapter, the section, name, date, period, then we have got the note, the summary, and the questions, which usually I've seen in the schools. However, they don't write down the summary and these kind of a thing. However, I've seen some schools, not all the schools I would say. However, it is mandatory in the universities to keep this kind of a notebook for them. Now here is the one that the proper notebook that has been taken care of. Heading, what it would be, and they have given you name, course name, period, date, that the heading is there. How can it be used for essential question? Then the questions list one after the other. Ask questions, sit in front. Now these are the guidelines which are given to the student, that yes, whenever you are there in the classroom, you need to ask the questions. Keep you engaged in lesson. Teacher views you as a good student. This is another advantage of it. Now sit up in the front seat only, and that's why we as teachers always invite students to sit in the front row. And in fact, I myself, when I take up the role of a student, I prefer to take the first bench itself. Why should I take the notes? So here taking the notes keeps you engaged in person rather than just getting diverted or daydreaming. Now what kind of a help can I get? And here they have mentioned to you. So notes, the questions, the summary, everything has been taken out in a very nice manner. Now this is a particular notebook that has been designed by an organization which they call it as AVID. Now AVID is very popular in certain countries like in Canada, Australia, and some universities of USA, wherein these people, they contribute a lot towards these studies, and then they have come up with these kind of a thing. So this is a proper notebook, and in fact they take so much of care that it should not be like a notebook or the file kind of a thing with the spiral wire which bounds the notebook. They prefer punched papers and then ask the students to get it the ring bounders, so binders especially, and they say that once you have this register sheet, you have to make a note each and everything and put it, file them together and carry forward as a record for them. And they have a proper filing system also, file management, which we will see later on. So this is just one example that I wanted to showcase and take care of it. Now this is a very interesting sheet which I took it up about. In fact, I've taken it from the book that has been written exclusively on the Cornell note, and here you can just see what is the rate of forgetting with study and repetitions. And if you see very carefully the chart, they say that if this is not there, it's totally gone, it vanishes. So the entire remembering, the entire memory part of it has been explained out here. I will go ahead, and whosoever requires it, they can just send me the mail, and I would definitely share that particular pages, which are around 46 of the pages that they have shared it with me, and you can also take care of it. And this is a very neat research that they have done, and they have come up with the graph also to check it out. Then we have got the example which I've already shown through the Avid group, and then the Cornell notes. This is how they take it up. The student with the handwritten one, with the margin and what the notes, and in the summary they're going to take it up. Now these are the trainings you will be seeing that yes has been presented out to the students, which I feel is something missing, and I thought, okay, let us go ahead and incorporate into our educational systems. Maybe some of them are doing it, however I have discovered it and I was very happy, so that I can go ahead and share it with each one of you. I hope you would like it and enjoy this part of something new, and I don't know, some of you might be knowing it also. I was not aware of it. So I appreciate all of you giving me some time, and let us go ahead with one more method in my next part. Till then, thanks and take care. Bye.